How's it going, guys? It's Nutshell here, and today I'm going to talk about the roadmap, at least for PVE, and the update and patch that's coming out right today. So if you're watching this video and you're wondering about the downtime and how long it's going to last, it is only up for about 4 hours and probably may get extended by an hour or two, I would think. If they do actually extend it, I wouldn't expect them to go, 4 hours extra today, because, they've done the majority of the big work that came with the new trader and obviously all of the quests and everything that came with the new trader, the ref. So, of course, it's going to probably sit around 4 hours to 6 hours is what I would guess, given BSG's track record. But today I wanted to talk about the updates that they are making. Now, of course, we've seen some of the updates that came with essentially the previous patches, where you had the arena integration, you've had the level and XP synchronization, and of course you've had the new arena ref as well, and obviously all of the in-game quests that we've had that include hustle event and all of that sort of stuff that we've actually had. But there is, of course, a couple more things that are to come within the patches that are coming out via the roadmap that we've been given by BSG. And these include the expansions and bonuses for both the EOD and the True Believer Edition, or the Unheard Edition, which will be essentially coming out fairly soon. And in fact, it's probably going to come out in this patch, is what I would assume could potentially be the thing that is going to be coming out today, alongside the PVE matching improvements that are currently underway, or at least going to be released. So we could be seeing the PVE matching experience become much better, to the point where we may actually be able to get into raids without having to wait 10 to 20 minutes to be able to actually get into them. So I think that is one of the biggest things about this update, and of course that could potentially be coming out today. So just be aware if you're jumping onto the game in the next week or so and you're wondering, well, how come now the load times are so good? It is because there is potentially a patch underway that is going to improve those matching. Now, Nikita did mention that this patch was basically going to run locally on your computer as a server. However, you have to be aware that this could potentially impact performance of your server. So yeah, it could be very difficult for your PC to run something like Street, since it will be a locally hosted server where your computer will have to do it alongside running the actual game as well. And so maybe you'll see some performance issues when it comes to this, depending on how BSG are going to handle this when it comes to the game. So it could potentially be a good thing, and I think it is going to be a very good thing to be able to get into raids. But on maps like Streets and stuff like that, provided they haven't really done anything to optimize the performance of the game when you're running a server and also playing the game at the same time on that server on your locally hosted machine, it could potentially have some performance issues when it comes to that. So yeah, just be aware of that when it does come, whether that is today or in a very future update. I'm assuming probably within the next week or two we will get this PvE matching improvements, if it isn't today. So I thought I'd share it with you today, just as a brief overview. But also, there is, of course, a variety of other bits that are future within the game and what is going to be coming later on down the line. So we can cover those today, so you guys will be kind of up to date with the latest news if you haven't already known about it, which is that there will be further bonuses and expansions for EOD and the Unheard Edition, which I assume may be the new hideout. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that is the case, but there is going to be a new hideout coming, or a new hideout expansion, but that is apparently coming in August. So whether or not they kind of build up to this, we're not entirely sure. But there is some expansions and bonuses for EOD, and maybe there's some form of link between the two, not entirely sure, but that is likely to come in August as per their roadmap, the actual hideout itself. So there could everyone that has the edition or the PvE mode and everything will be able to get that hideout expansion as well. There is also going to be some PvE AI improvements, which I think is pretty big when it comes to the game, and I think that that is something that I will be very, very happy to see, because right now the AI are pretty either cracked or they're just terrible, and so yeah, as long as you kind of avoid their areas, there's no real issues in games, and you can basically path your way through every single one of the maps without really ever coming into contact with anything, which I feel like is a little bit boring. The PvE kind of AI don't actually roam or anything like that, so seeing those change and potentially actually roam around the map a little bit more will be something that is much, much better in my eyes, and make the game a bit more fun for the long term of playing PvE. But of course that will come with mod support that I think is really, really cool, and I would love to see that in the game, whereby we could change the difficulty of the AI, make them harder, make them more snappy, or whatever it might be. I think that that will be eventually something that would be cool to see. We then have all of the purchasable PvE mode, which will be coming in June. So this month we will see the release of PvE mode for everyone. So if you are a person that is just purely playing PvP at the minute and you really like the look of playing the PvE mode, it will be available for all editions, so just be aware of that. I think it will be great, and I think that will be a very, very good thing for everyone. Of course they're going to want to do that after the server matching improvements, hence why it's further on down the line, because obviously adding a ton more players into the PvE mode when the servers are already pretty terrible, yeah, not going to be a good idea. There's going to be some quality of life improvements, as well as in-game polls as well that we'll be able to fill out. So that I think is a decent idea, being able to kind of give your input as to what you would like to see next in Tarkov, and kind of the devs asking questions before they do things, which is always a better thing than not asking the question and just doing it outright. There is also a new map that will be coming into Arena, which will come in July, and of course that comes with a new game mode, which is asymmetrical gameplay, so attack defense, which is essentially, if you've ever played Call of Duty, it's like Demolition, I would assume, or Search and Destroy, obviously, because if you get taken out, you're gone. Whether that is a respawn game mode, not entirely sure, but I would assume, yep, things like Demolition, and maybe it would be like a flag capture, I don't know, zone capture, whatever it is. I think it would be cool to have into Arena, and then of course a load of quality of life things that have probably been bugging people over time when playing Arena. So with that all being said, we'll move on. And then there's the Escape from Tarkov patch, which comes with new quality of life content, and of course new content itself, technical improvements, as we said, the hideout expansion, new weapons, audio optimization as well, which will be a big thing because everyone absolutely despises the rain inside of buildings. Don't know why that is a thing, but it is, and it's horrible to listen to. And then of course hopefully we'll see some audio improvements with regards to things sneaking up on you with making absolutely zero sound, which doesn't even make sense. And also the crab walking, it would be nice for them to actually make some level of sound, because it is broken when they're literally crab walking around, whether you play PvP or PvE. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever tried to crawl around kind of crabbing in real life, you do make sound, so it would be good to have that in the game to stop all of the kind of campers rolling around, crab walking everywhere. Yeah, I think that would be a good thing to have. And then FPS optimization, all locations, which will be a good thing to have in the game, because Streets is terrible, literally terrible. And I am looking forward for that to change. And then the final bit is, of course, the preset customization and preset system rework, which will come into Arena, which I'm sure many of you will enjoy. So with that being said, that is everything for the kind of roadmap, and I wanted to highlight today, it might be the day that we do actually see the expansions and bonuses for EOD and True Believer Edition, as well as the PvE matching improvements as well, which will be massive, and I cannot wait until these come into the game. So just be aware of that when we jump on later on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is going to be the update today. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, and of course check out some of the guides and various different tips and tricks and loot runs that we've done on the channel on screen right now. I'll leave a playlist to the loot run where you can make tens of millions every single run. But with that all summing up in this video, I will say goodbye, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.